just got up smash.
And now, oh, poor Zoo.
Happy feet. Wombo combo.
That ain't Falco.
That ain't Falco. Oh! Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Oh! Oh my God! Wombo combo! Oh! Get your ass whooped!
What the fuck, man?
Wow!
He did not,
huh?
You play that?
Nah, not yet. When the set's over.
My dick hurts!
What's up guys? So it's been about 2 weeks since I last made my Tera video, and I did want to update you guys that I still do play Tera. It's mostly on days and on times when my ping isn't spiking. So typically I go in and I check every day just to see how my ping's doing, and if it looks like it's in the playable range, then I'll typically play for an hour or two until it goes back to being really bad. But I really appreciate a lot of the advice that you guys gave me. Anyway guys, that's enough about me. I'm sure you guys want to know about my ninjas setup, and I decided, let's actually share with the world exactly how I set up my ninja. So if you guys actually see, if you guys are in TR, you guys probably inspected me already. Those of you guys who aren't in TR, well, here it is. So right now I am rocking the +8 Stormcry. I also have +7. It's kind of a mix of two. I'm thinking about prioritizing my armor first, so I'm going to +9 my armor before I +9 my weapon. And the reason for that is because ninjas are really squishy, and because we're a melee class, we have to kind of get into melee range. And squishy melee, it doesn't really work too well, so anything to make us tankier is a lot better in my opinion. Because if you stay alive longer and you don't die in a single burst, then you can definitely put out a lot more DPS as opposed to if you were to, just die when you hop in. So that's also why you'll see me be rocking indoms. I actually run 4 indoms as opposed to 4 briefing or crit crystals. And if you look at my rolls, obviously it's very standard. I have 4% max HP, and I also have decreased stun duration on both my earrings. I do have my circlet at crit because 8 crit, you still want crit, you still want power, those are still really good. You don't want to just go full investment into defensive options, you do want offensive options too because you are a DPS. Obviously for crystals we have the Savage, we have Salivating, which is really important on Ninja just because we have a lot of MP problems in PvP, and we'll get into that more later. We have the Forceful briefing as well, since we typically have a really easy time getting behind our opponents, so anything to increase back damage is really good. We have our Swift Nivea, and the reason why I run Swift is because our chase potential is exponentially better when we have more movement speed. And on the topic of movement speed, if we go into my accessories, you'll actually see that I run Quick Step. This is the movement speed. We have negotiation. Let's take that. 9K right here. This is so awkward. It's so awkward in the middle of my video. You'll notice that we have our Swift etchings onto our accessories. I have Swift on there, Swift on there, Swift here, Swift here. I even have a Swift 3 here, and I have a Swift 2 here. So if you look at my in-combat movement speed, it's about +68. Normal people have around plus 50 or plus 40 something. So +68 is ridiculously high. I also have Swiftly Relentless. I don't have 4 of them yet, but I'm planning to get 4 Swift Relentless. So yeah, potentially I could have +72 movement speed, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting that. So as you guys know, Ninja actually has more base movement speed than most classes. I believe it's 20 more base movement speed. Most classes have 110, ninjas have 130. So I truly believe that because of this, movement speed works really well with ninjas. Okay, so moving on to our next thing. One thing that you'll notice that's pretty non-typical for most people is that I actually run the MP Regen innerwear. And the reason why is because the class runs out of MP like crazy. I'll show you one PvP rotation on Ninja right here, and then you can see just what I mean. This is literally a PvP rotation right here. Go like this. And then that took around 50% of my MP. So that's one of the big reasons why I think that the MP innerwear is actually the best innerwear for ninjas. Obviously the alternate is like crit. I have 24 crit innerwear right here too. but nope, I use this. And you might be thinking, okay, well, if I use the MP innerwear, I'm actually losing out on damage, I'm losing out on crit. Is it really worth it just to have more MP and spam my skills more? So focus is a really good skill that a lot of ninjas don't use, just because we have MP issues. But because we can simply use the MP innerwear and have a nice chunk of MP income, you can actually use focus in PvP, in duels, fray win, and you won't run out of MP. So that kind of makes up for the whole fact that you're not using a power innerwear, that you're not using a crit innerwear, the fact that you get to have focus. So there's multiple reasons why the MP innerwear is actually good, and it wasn't always the case. It was actually after they changed focus and how it functioned and how you could keep it up that actually drove me to swap my innerwear to the MP innerwear. And the prime reason is because you'll see on the tooltip that it says that you gain an additional 1% damage increase for every 5 seconds you do not take damage. That's actually completely incorrect. The only way that you can lose your stacks, because you see that I have 10 stacks right here up in this corner, is if you take a damage that knocks you down. And if you get knocked down, then you'll lose all your stacks. And I mean, there's a lot of attacks that will knock you down in PvP, but it's definitely a lot easier to just land a hit on someone to take away their stacks than to knock someone down to take away their stacks. So because this update added another layer of protection to your focus stacks, I truly feel that this MP innerwear and keeping focus on PvP is really, really good. Again, you don't run out of MP with this innerwear. You can spam all your skills, you can have focus going at the same time, and that makes up for the damage that you would lose on, you know, a power innerwear or a crit innerwear. And I feel like if an innerwear had this passive as an ability, everyone would use that innerwear instead. They wouldn't use crit, they wouldn't use power, they would literally use this passive right here. So again guys, spam all your skills, no more MP problems. You don't have to dedicate any glyphs to MP. Like you'll see right here that I don't have any glyphs dedicated to any MP in my skills, and that's again all thanks to this innerwear. You save glyph points, you have focus uptime, you can spam all your skills. It's 100% worth it, and it's dirt cheap too. It's so cheap compared to this, which is like 85k on broker. So yeah guys, I hope that really covers my ninja setup for PvP. If you guys have any questions, please ask me in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer.